Welcome to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show and the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoat.com. With your hosts, Diana-Mite, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex the Cargirl Rosio, Hot Rod Bob Beck, plus Dar Hawthorne and Donnie Couch.
Good evening. Look at this. Here we are ready to go yet again for our second broadcast of the year 2015. It's I'm thinking this year is flying by. We're starting to look at March already. I'm Bruce Barker. There's Diana-Mite.
Welcome.
There's Lucky Hudson.
Great to be here, Bruce.
Hot Rod Bob Beck is in the house tonight.
Tonight we're going to talk about the 406 build of my motor. That's the Paul Williams Specialties motor, Lucky.
Yeah, we're looking for a low 10-second motor, not a mega dollar, 1,200 horsepower pro mod motor.
Just a solid 10-second, low 10-second motor, right? Consistent.
The same kind of motor that a lot of racers out there would love to have in their car that they could reasonably build using a Chevy block and a pair of, reasonable price aluminum heads. So we started here with the block. We started from a bare block. This is a 406. It was a 2-bolt block. Went ahead and Paul Williams put billet splayed 4-bolt caps on it. Tonight, we're going to focus on the rings. He's going to install them on a set of Racetech pistons. He's going to show us how he files the rings. Plus, we're going to install a comp cams roller cam. We're going to put in the main caps, the crankshaft. Paul Williams can build a great, dependable motor for you, too, just like this one. Visit his site at pwspecialties.com or give him a call at 661-864-1632. Diana-Mite, you did a great job of cleaning that engine compartment.
Lucky. Yes, he was trying to take pictures of me as I was all grunged out,
People would love to see that.
No makeup, with my sweatshirt on, cleaning everything, and he comes with the camera, and I'm like, don't you dare.
No, though.
Look how lonesome my car looks without a motor in it. I mean, the engine compartment's so bare, but I'll tell you, it is spick and span. It's nice and clean.
And you get a nice view of that TCI motor front end on there.
Yeah,
but,
sure do.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah. Yes.
Why don't you tell us about an upcoming event?
We're entering into the March meet. You can do it online at thefoat.com. Buy your racer entry and also your crew passes at thefoat.com. Of course, you can also buy your spectator tickets there, too, so save time. Don't wait in line. Come to the March meet at Bakersfield and cheer us on. Check out the great stuff at the Curry Rear Ends booth and get a free Speed Scene Live sticker for your ride. We found it's good for at least 1/10 of a second. And then this weekend, the Dr. George show is something.
Dr. George, the weatherman?
No. This guy was a real doctor.
Oh.
And he was an oncologist down in the Palm Springs area, Palm Desert area, and unfortunately was killed in a traffic accident. But his legacy goes on with the Palm Springs Cruising Association doing the annual Dr. George Car Show, and they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for cancer treatment. No one goes untreated. If you haven't got the money, it doesn't matter. They take care of it, and that's this weekend down in Palm Desert at the big tennis arena down there.
Where they have the Masters tennis tournaments and stuff.
They've got a huge grass area, and everything's going to be on the grass.
That's going to be sweet, man. The last time I had an engine on a mount like that on the hoist was throwing that big 430 in that Lincoln, and
that's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was heavy. It was a heavy motor.
Probably didn't have aluminum heads on it, did it?
No.
But it's fun to put in the motor and hook up all this stuff. And now this car's on a rack, so we go to roll the hoist underneath, and the car's too low. No problem. We'll just lift up the car in the rack, and then the hoist will go right underneath and drop it right down.
The luxuries that you have, Lucky.
Look at that. Car comes up.
Don't lower the engine in the car. Raise the car into the engine.
We could do that too,
There you go. Hey, we want to mention that coming up on Speed Scene Live later this month, Bridget Davis, NMCA racer, is going to be talking about her Mustang. Also, Dale Creasy, we mentioned this last week. He's going to be talking about his career running Top Fuel. Donnie and Dar are also going to be live in studio. That would be Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne live in studio doing a March Meet warm-up show for Good Vibrations Motorsports. Those guys always bring the nitro and then light it up.
You know, Bruce, we've also, just today, I arranged to have Damian Cowden. He was the winner of the Top Fuel Harleys that out at Pomona. And we're going to have him on the show coming up. We'll see what that's all about. We'll show some video. But, hey, before we get into more stuff, let's take a minute here and hear a little bit about this car. Well, you know, we're almost there. We're getting really close. We got most of the stuff in. Just got a little bit more work to do. We're going to get this thing fired up in a little bit. Everything's coming together nice. And we're just making sure, double checking, making sure everything's good. And we'll get this motor going. I want to thank Paul Williams Specialties for doing such a great job building the motor. Hamburger oil pans. Man, they make a nice oil pan with everything built in, the windage tray, the scraper, everything you need. Trap doors. Racetech pistons. Racetech makes fantastic high quality pistons right here in America. You really got to check them out. They make race pistons, they make pistons for your street car. Check out Racetech. CompCam stepped up. CompCams has got the best stuff. We've used CompCam's camshaft for years. Right now we got a brand new CompCam's camshaft in there. We got CompCam's Sportsman roller lifters, and we can't wait to hear how it sounds. We also had SCE Gaskets step up and give us some help on this project. SCE gaskets are very helpful. They make that great line of head gaskets that when you bolt them down, they almost work like an O-ring block. So let's go ahead and get back to work. Let's get this thing wrapped up. Get it happening.
Nice.
You know, Diana-Mite, you look like you're working me pretty hard there because I look pretty tired.
Yeah, I was working hard. Ooh, there's that LAT. Yep.
We put some fresh LAT racing oil. This is the stainless steel reusable oil filter that we use. Of course, now it's on the motor, and instead of taking off your filter and trying to fight and cut it open and see what's inside, this one just comes off, quick release, see what the inside looks like, clean it out, reuse it, never buy another oil filter. But, you know, I got to tell you, we are so close to having that car at the track.
We are. I'm real excited. We're looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully we're going to have it there on Saturday. I want to send a special thanks out to our crew chief, John Urban. That's the other gentleman that you saw in the film there with Lucky, putting the motor in the car, and we depend a lot on him to come and help us along the way, and he does a great job. And so a special thanks to John.
You know, how often have you this has happened to me a few times, and I regret it every time. You just want to get the motor back in the car. You know, you've built it, or maybe you just had it out to work on the transmission or whatever. Put the thing back in, you go, why didn't I pretty up the engine bay?
Right,
And your Nova, Diana-Mite, is looking great inside. Good for you guys for sort of stepping down and taking care of that.
Well, Bruce, I was the guy that said, let's just get the motor in, and she was the one that said, well, let me get in and clean all that grease off.
Yeah, you know, Simple Green works really good.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Simple Green and you know, just a roll of paper towels, you can get in there, you can get a lot of crud out. So what's that?
Simple Green and elbow grease.
Yeah, definitely. You
Well,
know,
and
got all the grease, you know, any crud that was there.
And it was in good shape. It wasn't all thrashed or anything.
No. But anything that maybe had a little leak of something on it, you know, I cleaned it up real good. What's red is bright red. What's shiny goes bling, and that's what I like.
Nice. Yeah, because you're, is it the master cylinder assembly there?
Yeah, it was cool.
It's chrome, man. That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
Yeah, you know, I like jewelry. What can I say? You
Now,
know, girls?
I got to mention that I mentioned the CompCam camshaft roller cam, and we've used them for years. We put a brand new one in. We also put a set of those Sportsman roller lifters, and everybody that does motors knows how expensive those roller lifters are. Finally, a company stepped up, CompCam stepped up and introduced a reasonable priced set of high-quality roller lifters. So we're going to run those too. But we've got more updates later in the show. Bruce, you have some photos of Diana-Mite out here at the Pomona NHRA Winter Nationals. And, boy, that's a nice car you're posing.
Was I like giving you the pose there, Lucky, or what? Yeah.
That was the model pose, you know? Well, there was a lot of cars out there. Now, this is my favorite top fuel funny car driver right now, John Hale.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the Allo car, the Moon Eyes top fuel funny car, and he made his first ever professional debut and actually qualified and won his first round in that car.
He did. He was signing autographs. He was.
Look at the crowd.
Yeah, it was great. I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, John, how about an autograph?" But I didn't have a piece of paper, so you know, I was trying to give him something to autograph, but I just didn't know what.
You know, a lot of times people use body parts.
I was going to, but Lucky was right behind me. I thought, oh my goodness, I better not. I didn't want to embarrass John.
You know, one thing about the Moon Eyes crew, they got Best Appearing Crew Award.
Did they? I believe
they
it.
did. All their white and black uniforms.
Yeah, the retro look.
Yeah.
Bruce, go back to that last photo. This is that one.
That was the last one.
This is the last one. This is a diesel-powered car, and this body actually used to belong to Rich Howell. He used it as an altered body on his funny car, and now this is a company that's promoting their diesel products, and they're racing a diesel-powered race car. They went super comp just because there was no other class for them. But they do compete in diesel racing all the time.
Now, that had, if I remember correctly, that had a Cummins inline diesel motor.
Wow.
Yes, it did.
That's amazing.
Now, Bob, you know this guy, don't you? Carl Swift?
I know.
He was the Irwindale champion for years. I met him at Palmdale. He was a champion out there. He's the gentleman that has he was in a motorcycle accident and lost one of his legs. They had to amputate one of his legs when he was about 15 years old. And when he was 16, he got a growth spurt. And he went from like 5'1" up to 6'1".
Wow.
And he likes to tell everybody that he's the only guy that lost a leg and grew a foot in the same year.
Hey, you know, I'm trying to figure out what this is. The tail end looks like a shoebox Ford.
Yeah, it is. It's about a 49 50 Ford.
Is it shortened or is it just the angle?
No, it's just the angle of the shot, and when you don't have the hood on the front. Plus radius rear wheels to allow the tires to stick out. Yeah. It changes the look of the car. Now, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember if this was a business coupe or the club coupe.
It looks very business coupey, but what do I know?
It's
there we go. There's the front of it.
Yeah, that's a great car, and
all that aluminum work.
Great aluminum work, but it's got the little tiny motor. I think it's a 12-second car. He has a special little post on the brake pedal since his artificial leg doesn't work. He'll use his hand to hold the brake down when he stages. Now, this is A.J. Thomas representing the junior dragsters out there, and of course, this car right in front, brand new wrap, just done by his dad. Hours before the event.
Wow. Nice.
They had a good showing, too. Probably about 10, 15 cars there.
Yeah. Bruce, I brought this one for you because I know you're a Ranchero fan. And
that is quite the Monster 57
and that was his street car. That was his high school car.
Is that right?
Yeah, big, bad, blown motor, and he drives that thing on the street. And
there's a photo of the motor in there. There you go.
Goodness.
Wow.
That's what you need.
Yeah, look at that 427.
Yeah, now he brings that out to the Twilight Cruises at the NHRA Museum.
What do you know?
Bruce, that's what you need in that four-wheel drive Mustang we were talking about earlier. You said you needed some power and some torque.
Horsepower.
You need a motor like that.
Well, let's see. Let's do the math. What's the size increase from a 170 to a 427? Is that like 3 times the engine motor or the engine
there you
size?
go.
Yeah.
And then you put a blower on top of that.
Yeah.
And I think that power. You never hear this guy say, "Gee, I wish I had more power."
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it'd move those big old wheels just like nothing.
And I would have talked to him. Unfortunately, he was gone trucking.
Yeah.
Now we called it at the Twilight Cruise. We gave him the award as the most uninsurable.
Well,
Uninsurable?
Uninsurable.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Bob, because actually Here's another car that got that same award.
I know, it's another one I picked, and the guy that owns this car, he's super nice. People were coming over to look at this car at the Twilight Cruise, and he was talking with them and totally explaining the car. And they built it just because they could, and he drives this thing.
I actually, when I went into the track one morning, I was in line behind him.
Yeah.
Him and another guy were driving in, and they have like their name across the spare tire and horseshoes in the back. And I was like, that's that uninsurable car.
Yeah, sure. And a super nice guy. He was great. We saw him at Moon Eyes as well, and he was giving tours of the car, and someone would look at the car, wow, that's neat. He said, would you like to sit behind the wheel?
Wow.
So he'd let people get in, and they take photos in the car.
What is it?
I don't know if we have a picture
That's
of the
exactly
car.
what it is.
I don't know if we have a picture of the car right next to it, but it's
No.
a 57
the Caddy.
Cadillac. It was
that's what that is.
Yeah, El Dorado.
phenomenal. It was
yeah.
the most gorgeous car there. This magenta candy paint job was just, I mean, you could eat off that car. It was perfect.
Wow, speaking of perfect.
Yeah. And the car's not bad either.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is slightly bigger motor than your 170 cubic inch 6-cylinder.
Yeah, I guess a little bit bigger.
A little bit
Yeah.
bigger. Do the math. How many times does that go into 540?
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
a little bit bigger,
It reminds me, I think, Bob, you were on the show once when we showed video of a GMC Futureliner going down the
Yes.
track, and it took 30 seconds to
Yeah.
get from... That's about what that four-wheel drive Mustang would do.
I
I'm
don't
sure.
believe. Yeah, and the last time I drag raced my Maverick. Now, he was a 250 cubic inch 6-cylinder.
Sure.
I was running consistent 21-second ETs.
Wow. Hard to beat a guy like that. Now I want to thank NHRA for initiating the Hot Rod Junction and letting people like me come out. And,
Yeah, you know, it was a great. You had the junior dragsters there. You had the car show type people there. You had some great vehicles all around that people had the opportunity. Remember, you buy that pass to get in and watch your races. You get the pit pass, so you get to see everything. That's a good thing about these events.
That's right. So make sure when you go to the NHRA, you walk around. They had all kinds of Woodies. They had the Winged Express. They had cackle cars, all kinds of stuff. And don't miss any of it.
Nope.
Hey, Bruce, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and get into some more Speed Scene Live.
I'm Robert Height, driver of the Auto Club Ford Mustang Funny Car, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
At Aeromotive, we believe that performance means reliability, longevity, and durability. Being the best is no secret. By utilizing aerospace processes, procedures, technology, in-house engineering, true applications knowledge, and 3 generations of track experience, it's easy to see why we're the best. We take great pride in the fact that everything we sell, we design and make in the USA. See our entire line of fuel pumps and related products by logging on to aeromotiveinc.com. Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You've paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guys ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you, slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online. Mention the Speed Scene and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoat.com.
Oh, yeah, and it's another Tuesday night. You're live with Diana-Mite. We've got Scott Lucky Hudson here to my left. We've got Bob next to him, and we've got Bruce back there handling the controls. Am I up? Am I perky here?
Oh, yeah.
Am I perky?
Okay, looky.
Yes.
Well, you know, I want to thank Scott Gardner, the president of the IHRA, that was on the show last night.
Last week or last
week.
night?
Or last week. Also, Derek Cesare and George Bryce were talking to us about Pro Stock motorcycles. They're both their bike program, the Pro Stock Bike Challenge that George Bryce and Star Racing's putting on. That was really great. And also Steve from SHRA Radio. But Doug Stokes called in last week, Bob.
Yes.
From Irwindale, and he was talking about racing, and you started talking about skid plate racing.
Yes.
And what the heck is that? So Bruce went ahead and found a video.
Okie dokie.
And I got to tell you, I don't know. You asked me if I would drive one. The answer is absolutely no.
Well, I'm going to pick up where you left off. Because at this coming Sunday at Irwindale is going to be their first day of destruction. And they're going to have skid plate racing, flagpole racing, trailer racing, and a demo derby.
Wait.
Yeah.
Trailer racing?
Yes.
Is that where they drag a trailer behind them?
That's right.
And
You
they
gotta
do
have a
figure
trailer.
Are they doing figure eight or just circle?
You know, I'm not sure, but it's going to be
Holy cow.
exciting, and it's going to be destructive.
I think so. Man, they must go through a lot of trailers.
Is that
Yes,
a
they do.
policeman in front?
That is our official Irwindale Police Pace vehicle. And that's the group of skid plate cars. Now, for those of you who don't know what a skid plate car is, it's a front-wheel drive car. The rear wheels are chained so they don't turn, and a flat plate is welded to those wheels, and it skids.
So there's no rubber on the back.
No rubber on the back, no contact except with
God.
metal.
Look at this guy
And it's
twirling
kind of
around
like if you've
already.
ever run on a slick track or run. Now, those of you back east, you drive in the snow. Back end comes out as you're coming around the corner. Well, we don't have snow, so we created skid plate racing. And it's just the same as like ice racing, driving on snow. The rear does not have any traction. Now, at night, sometimes they'll turn the lights off, and you can see the sparks coming off the skid plates. Now, Dar Hawthorne, his son has driven this course and done it in a Volkswagen. It was one of the fastest cars out there. I am going to be driving this Sunday, and we'll see how I do.
How fast are they going? Because it doesn't seem like they're going that fast, but they're just like slipping and sliding.
Slipping and sliding, slip
Yeah.
sliding away. And if you look
Yeah.
at some of the cars, you can see some of them are sparking more than others
Now,
as they
do
go around.
they hit each other, right?
Yes.
They're not supposed to, but they do.
They're
Well,
not.
you can't really
This is
control
night
it.
of destruction. Anyone with a straight, shiny car without any dents will be fixed by the end of the race.
I am stunned. Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
What does Irwindale say when that? I mean, does this harm the track surface at all?
No, because it's a flat plate, so it's just sliding along.
Okay.
So it smooths things out.
Yeah, maybe it actually helps.
The problem is at the end of a race it rusts, but that's beside the point.
You know, I think anytime you're entered in a
You can see the
race,
sparks. Look it off the back into that car.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're entered in a race called Night of Destruction, you're going to
Yes.
have to assume there's going to be some damage done.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a fender bender.
Whee! Look at that. Boom.
You know, a body shop guy, if he was going to fix these cars, would be in seventh heaven.
Yeah.
Just counting. Oh, I'm going to Hawaii this year, as he looks at the cars. But
Isn't it weird to think the instant you put on the brakes, the tail end is going to slide all the way around?
Does this like totally remind you of when you were a kid and you'd go to the fair and you went and got on the bumper cars?
That's what the Foat just said.
Oh,
The
okay.
crew updates on the Foat said looks like bumper cars.
Yeah,
yeah.
bumper. I used to love bumper cars. It's like you'd aim for that person way over in the
Right.
corner and you'd floor it.
that's it. That's it. But and these guys have transponders in those cars, so they're actually counting laps and they're going for the trophy.
Wow.
Top 3 will trophy in this thing. And as they go around the track, you're watching them. Some of the guys spin out. Well, it's a little bit of finesse to driving. A little bit. There's a whole hell of a lot of finesse in driving this thing. And one of the things you do, you talked about hitting the brakes to slow down.
Yeah.
You don't slow down.
No.
If you need to turn, you give it more gas, because what's happening is if you slow down, back in wants to swap ends.
Sure. Yeah, that makes total sense.
So you've got to pull the vehicle through the turn, not try and drive it through or steer it through the turn.
Now, you're going to drive a car
I am.
this Sunday
This
at
Sunday,
Irwindale.
Irwindale. Gates
So-
open at noon. and we're going to start racing, I think, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So at 1 o'clock, people can come down and watch you do this.
And how many cars, Bob? How many will be in this event?
Well, looking at this, there's probably about 30 of them out there. We don't know how many are going to show up. It's a lot of new builds for this year because, believe it or not, the skid plate class is very popular among the spectators and the drivers. You'll have some of the top drivers in the NASCAR series coming down to drive this. As a matter of fact, our champion last year, mental blank, Ryan Partridge from Drag Racing Family, drives NASCAR and was the champion at Irwindale this year in the NASCAR classes. He's driven this.
It looks like a lot of the cars are sort of the maybe a few years old, sort of econo boxes. I mean,
exactly.
Obviously, you got to start with a front-wheel drive car.
Front-wheel drive car. So the cheaper, the better, because it's going to be cheap when it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, the value goes down quite a bit after the first race.
I would imagine. Now, once the race is over, can you get the back wheels operational again?
Yeah, you just unbolt the skid plate wheels, and you can put regular wheels on there. Now, the fun part is you see how they're sliding around. You know, it's just fun as can be. Watch these guys. They'll do an exhibition lap before the races start, and as they're coming off the turnout to go to the pits, they're sliding, and look at this one, he just taps them, but they can't keep them going straight at slow speeds because if the ground, if the track has got a bank to it, the rear end follows the bank down.
It's so funny, man.
So there's a sweet spot, really, on the speed, and you need to find that sweet spot. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, it's just somewhere, and each driver is going to be individual to their car.
Modulate it all you want. The guy in front of you is going to spin, you're going to nail him anyway.
You know, Diana-Mite, you said you didn't think this looked that fast, but under the circumstances, it's pretty fast.
It's too fast sometimes. You might think about that. I mean, if you've ever driven in the rain in hydroplane, it always feels like you're speeding up when you're trying to slow down. Well, this is perpetual speeding up when you're trying to slow down.
This is perpetual hydroplaning, really, because you have no control over the back tires.
So they're going to do their first day of destruction. Normally they have nights of destruction. This is going to be the first day of destruction. It's going to be an afternoon race. It's a Valentine's Day weekend, so guys, bring out your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, or if you're brave, both.
Wow, happy Valentine's Day.
Did you say that, Bob? Did you really say that?
Sure.
You're going to get in trouble.
Well, you know, the women can bring out their husband or their boyfriends and
their Sancho,
their sons, or
Yeah. Well, you know, Bob, I know we've got an update, a technical update on the motor build, but you've got a caller calling in.
Yes.
So why don't we go ahead and get into the great American auto scene?
We can do that.
And can we segue from these cars crashing into each other?
Crashing and bagging, yeah. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speed Scene Live, and You've Got Gas here with Bob Beck. And on the phone with us tonight is one of our wounded warriors, and we always take our hats off to these guys because he was doing his job for us. And unfortunately, Marcus, you had a little bit of a problem a few years back. We got Marcus Colford on the phone with us right now.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Marcus. How you doing?
I'm fantabulous.
Good. Now, you drive and you work on your own car. There you are working on your car right now. And that was the Chevelle you used to run, correct?
Yes.
And that car was running, I think when I saw the video, which we're going to play in just a little bit, you're running high nines with that machine.
Yeah, running in the high nines on juice.
Oh, okay. Well, what about the car? Oh, no, never mind. I mean,
jeez.
All right, so you ran, that was an all-steel Chevelle, and you ran in the high nines on that machine, and you really have to climb into that thing.
Yes, I do.
And you've got a goal. Your goal is to run 5-second ETs, is that correct?
That's right.
Now, Marcus,
the fastest paraplegic in the world on the quarter mile.
Are you going to do that in a door car or a dragster or a funny car? What's your goal?
In a door car.
Okay. Sounds
in a door
good.
car. I was actually sponsored for Frank Harley's by Mark Scordato and Associates.
Okay.
I was sponsored by Mr. Scordato to go to Frank Harley's drag racing school in Florida. But I couldn't drive the car because the car has a Lenco in it, which is manual shift.
Oh, okay.
Thank God, Mr. Rossler of Rossler Transmission, who's now one of my major sponsors, he offered to have the transmission changed, one of his transmissions. But as we know, the whole car would have to be changed around.
It's quite a bit of a change.
So I would have been set the record already. So now I have to go through another angle. I have to get my own car. So that's what we're working on at the moment.
So you're working on that right now. Now, when you say a door car, what type of car is it that you want to do?
I want to do a outlaw car, PX 75.
Okay.
I want to do an outlaw car, drag radio car. Actually,
Really?
my actual dream would be to run Faster Street Car against Larry Larson. That's what I do want to run.
Everyone's got to have a goal.
Yeah, this is true. And I believe it's very attainable.
So you're going to try and
Very,
run
very
a
attainable.
door car, a street radial car in the 5-second zone. That's the goal right now.
Yeah, that's right. I want to be Larry Larson. That's what I want to do.
You know,
That's my
Marcus,
goal.
luckily people like you, your transmission sponsor have figured out how to make automatic transmissions take that horsepower.
Yeah.
The torque converter companies have increased their technology.
Absolutely.
And so you know what? You can do it with an automatic now, which is helpful for you. You don't have to rely on a Lenco or, you know, there's a lot of different options.
All right,
Yeah,
now, Marcus, if
absolutely
someone wanted to help you out and get with you on this and find out where you're at and so forth, what would they do? How do they
Go
contact
to marcuscolbert.com. All my information is there.
you? Okay. And
Absolutely. I would be deeply appreciated. And as we all know, I do support the Wounded Warrior Project as well.
yeah.
And I want to definitely support them and give them much exposure as possible.
Now, Marcus, what branch of the military were you in?
I actually wasn't enlisted in the military. I worked for the United States Navy during the day.
Okay, so you were
And
part
thank
of the
God that
armed
I did.
forces.
Excuse me?
You were part of the armed forces.
Yeah, I was part of the armed forces, the Navy.
Okay.
I was employed as a civilian for the United States Navy in Yokohama, Japan.
Oh, it's a good place to
and
be.
I was on my way to the base when I got hurt. And that's how I ended up in a wheelchair.
Have you always had an interest in drag racing before that?
Absolutely. Since I was 16 years old, I started drag racing. But before that, I tell you, God bless my Uncle James Curitan, who took me to Raceway Park here in New Jersey. I got a chance to see the legendary Jungle Jim Lieberman one entire day. And that changed my life. My life was written in stone. That was like in 1974. I knew what I wanted to do.
Was it
that
Jungle?
Been drag racing ever since.
Was it Jungle Pam that made that impression on you?
No, I was a kid. I wasn't interested in Jungle Pam at the time, even though she's not
foolish
hard
guy.
on the eyes, that's for sure.
Hey, I was a kid too, but you know, come on.
Jungle Jim, I could watch him go down the track, but you know, Pam stayed there.
Now, what kind of a car? We've got just a couple pictures, but what kind of a car is it you're driving right now?
Right now, I'm driving a Super Pro car.
Okay.
Really?
I have a Super Pro car, a actual Malibu panel wagon.
All right.
It's 468 on 2 stages of juice. My other sponsor, S&W, is going to add in the funny car cage for me for this year until I get a sponsor that's going to cover the cost of the outlaw car, which I believe is going to be attainable very, very soon, within another month or so.
But this is good because you're getting seat time. You're out there. You're promoting yourself.
Absolutely.
You're at the track. And while you're still got your eyes on the prize, you're thinking about the next car, you're out there competing in the Malibu, right?
So how quick are you running now with the
Absolutely.
panel?
Excuse me?
How fast are you running with the panel right now?
920s.
920. All right,
That's
so
a good ride.
You stepped it up from what the sedan was, and you're going a little bit quicker.
Yeah, this is true. I run the 920s. I want to get a little tweak it out, get a little bit more out of it. I do have an engine sponsor. I may put a bigger engine, a 555 in it.
Who's that sponsor?
A friend of Mr. Rossler's. He told me he had a friend. I don't actually know his name, but the gentleman, he preferred to stay anonymous at the moment.
Guido on the side. Give
But he said he didn't want any fame or glory, but he did want to sponsor me for an engine. I was glad to accept.
That's great. That's great.
And we all know Rossler makes great transmissions, so you can
Yes, he
depend on his product. You don't even have to think about it. So
he is a very, very sweet, down to earth man, and so is Michael over at S&W. Very good people.
S&W is good. Our friend up in Northern California, Les, does S&W. He's putting together a Thunderbird right now.
I think he's the local dealer for S&W products. And he has got product there, and he uses it himself, and he helps people get their products. So,
Les Morris is up there with it. He's building. He's putting together a chassis for his 60 Thunderbird, Memphis Belle, I think he's calling it.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
That's right. Well, Marcus, sounds like you're on the right track. Good luck, and you know what? Shoot for the stars.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me.
Not a problem, Marcus. Take care, and we'll talk to you again when you get into the 5-second zone.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
Marcus.
You know, I know Marcus has got a tough road ahead of him, like a lot of us. We go as fast as we can within reason. His car's going about as fast as my car goes.
It is, Lucky.
That's doing pretty good.
And he's getting himself in and out of it. You know, it's a tough road to hoe, but he's doing it.
He's doing it. Yeah, he hasn't let anything
kudos
stop.
to him. Yeah.
No, nothing slowed him down. Nothing stopped him.
You know?
He just kept on persevering and going.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he was talking about building a motor, and right now we're very involved with Diana's Project 406. And we recently had an opportunity for Paul Williams of Paul Williams Specialties to show us how he does the rings on that motor. And we're, you know, he actually sort of, we're not trying to teach you how to do it. We're just trying to show you how good Paul is and how meticulous he is in assembling everything. So let's kind of walk through and let Paul explain a little bit about what's going on, how he sets up the ring gap, what he does to each and every motor. In fact, right now he's checking it in the clean room, and then he's going to wheel that.
See, that's what I need.
Clean room.
You got to start there.
You do have one, Bruce, but it's got the toilet in it right now.
Oh, yeah, that.
You know, if you're going to assemble motors and do it right, you got to get it away from all the junk. Like everyone else, including myself, our shops are full of junk. But he actually rolled it out of the clean room, went outside so he could do the filing, keep the dirt out of the clean room. Paul, you're going to go ahead and do the rings now. You got to file fit them. You have a tool that you put in, and it gets the rings square.
To file the second ring first because it's softer. And if you get used to filing that top ring, they're extremely hard, and it's real easy to over-grind your second ring if you do the top ring first. So I start out with second ring, sneak up on it, and then you move on to the top ring. But like I said, if you do it the other way around, you got to put some effort into grinding those top rings. And if you put that same kind of effort into the second ring, you're going to file your gaps too big.
Sounds like a good tip. You get used to that resistance and you just go ahead and keep powering away.
And what I do is I try to keep a count of how many rotations I use when I grind the ring. That way I can speed up my process a little bit. So this second ring, I'm looking for 26 to 28, and I'm going to start out checking it at 24 here, still a little tight, so I got a little ways to go.
And then once you file them, is that ring specific to that cylinder now?
It would be on an engine that, like I said, on a refresh. Oh, this? Yeah, on the next file, so we're good at 24 now. I need to find my 26. Okay, so our end gap's good. I'll grab another feeler gauge. What I'm doing here is I'm making sure that our wheel is going from the outside in.
Always the same direction.
Yes. And I try to do it on the same side, because after we get done with this, we got to deburr the ring. Okay, our 25 is good.
So you're going to do
we're good.
all the bottoms and then come back around and do all the tops.
Yes. And yeah, like I said, we're doing that because the bottom ring is a little bit softer. It's quite a bit softer than the top. So Yeah, I don't try to get it perfect the first time because I don't want to make it any bigger. I just want to sneak up on it. But by the time I get to the last one, I usually get dialed in where I'm hitting it pretty darn close. So what I'm checking here is I got a 25 thousandths feeler gauge, and it's just going. I think my 26 is going to be perfect, and that's just right. So that helps me sneak up on it. Okay, so that one's done. We're on to the next one. See how hard these rings are compared to the second ring? It takes quite a bit more effort to get the material off of them. And the thing
Is it because the top ring's a different material?
Yes, it's a different material. The second ring's cast iron, and the top ring is a steel. They call this an AP. I don't know all the technicals about the ring, but I know it's a steel ring. Probably has a lot of chrome in it. And the second ring is just a centrifugal cast iron, which is fairly soft, but they're durable.
So this is more the compression ring, where the bottom ring's more of an oil ring, correct?
Yeah, the top ring seals everything. The second ring is basically a scraper. The second ring has a taper on it, and it works like a squeegee, and it pulls the oil off the cylinder wall to keep it clean. So we're just getting, there's the 22, and then we're 23 right there, and 23 is getting a little tight. We'll see if a 24 will go in here. I moved it a little bit. The 24 won't quite go, but I'm just right there.
You're real close.
So I'm going to very carefully just take a little bit more off of this one. I'm going to check it and make sure I'm good. We're good. It's a little on the snug side, but it's 24, so we're good. The very last finish touch on this one. And that's still a little on the tight side. I'll open it up just a little bit more. A 22, 23, and a 24 here. And there it is. We got 24 right on the nose. Go back over here and get this side done. A little extra there so we can get this thing done. Tight still. In case anybody's wondering why I'm not holding it up against the buttons here, these wheels wear out pretty fast in that spot. And that one's about used up there. So you can just slide it back to a fresh surface so it doesn't have to be up against those buttons.
Wow.
That's interesting stuff. We were talking off camera about the first time I did one. Wasn't too concerned about the ring gaps. As a matter of fact, I forgot to get them all together. And
You know what?
I forget the ring gaps.
It's
yes.
true. The first time I ever did it too, and it didn't harm the engine, but it was low compression engine. There wasn't much going on.
Mine didn't have any after I was done.
But you know, it's important to see stuff like this, and you can see how meticulous and time-consuming it is to build like a really good motor.
So are you showing this, Lucky, because all those times where I'm going, where's my motor? Where's my motor?
Yeah.
You can now explain to me exactly why, things take the amount of time that they do. Because
Well, you do have a tendency to say, okay, just throw it together and put it in.
Well.
And I go, no, it doesn't work that way.
You forgot. I also say chop, chop.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what? I will admit, too, this is, I think, the most, not that it really matters to viewers that much, I guess, it's the most off-camera talk we've ever had
Yeah.
during an interview like this because it's fascinating to watch him put this thing together.
Well, he's so meticulous. I mean,
and
the
people,
detail that goes into this.
One of the things that Bob was saying is he goes, there's new machines that will file the rings faster and in a different way. But Paul says, the old stuff isn't as fast, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
And he likes to build them slow because you can control, you don't you don't take too much material away by mistake.
Because once you take too much material away, you have to start all over, right?
Get a new ring and start all over again.
Although actually a less scrupulous, what's that word? Yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Engine builder will go, uh-oh. Well, let's just put this in real quick before anybody knows. Yes, and we've all seen motor guys like that. Hey, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll give you a little more info on Project 406, built by Paul Williams Specialties up in beautiful Bakersfield, California. And you will see this car going down the track at Bakersfield at the March meet.
For over half a century, Currie rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Currie gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Currie expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Currie's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Currie Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts like correct link steering systems keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Currie rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at currieenterprises.com. Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
I'm Tom Mongoose McEwen, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
To Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Currie Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoat.com.
All right, welcome back to Speed Scene Live, our second show of the amazing 2015 season. Along with us tonight is the lovely Diana-Mite. She's sitting alongside her other half. It's Scott Lucky Hudson.
I'm ready to rock and roll, baby.
And working the board with his shiny, pointy fingers, it's Bruce Bucker.
Shiny,
pointy finger.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but they look like it with the sun or the lights reflecting. We've got all new lights, new cameras,
you gotta
and everything.
cut back
here
on the medication.
Oh, yes, I do. And I'm Hot Rod Bob.
Oh, man.
You know, we've got some more stuff here of Paul Williams from Paul Williams Specialties. Right now, he's installing the Comp Cams roller camshaft. And
doesn't that just slide right in real quick?
yeah, that's right, Diana-Mite, and that's what you're going to see.
Yep,
He's just going to
push
slide
it right
in.
and it clicks into place.
You know, earlier we showed him putting the cam bearings in, and then he's putting a little lube on there. He's already lubed the bearings, but he puts a little extra in there, and he goes ahead and inserts it in, and it's it's
lube.
nice. Yeah,
He inserts it in. Okay.
Now, is that the engine rebuild type lube? It's kind of really like thick, weird oil?
Yeah, it's kind of like the
assembly
viscosity of honey. Yeah, it's like an assembly lube. You're going to see a little more here because he's getting ready to put the main caps. Diana-Mite's going to start with the, pretty soon. And you're going to see he lays down the bearings. He's going to put some assembly lube. He's going to lay that crankshaft, which is the technical term, by the way, Diana-Mite.
Lay the crankshaft.
Lay the crankshaft.
Okay. Yes.
And we're going to go ahead and put the caps on. Now, these are billet caps. This is an engine rebuild. These were on the old engine, and he went ahead and he machined them to fit. The block was a 2-bolt main block. So what he did was he actually drilled and tapped the bolt holes for the outside bolts, which are in a splayed direction. So this is the best, most solid bottom end you can get pretty much for a small block Chevy.
So 2-bolt main, does that turn it into a 4-bolt?
Yes.
Yes.
And see, I never knew you could do that.
I didn't either.
Thought you always had to look for a 4-bolt block.
In the old days, that's what you did.
Okay.
But now you can drill and tap, and here's that
Shazam!
lube.
Yeah. That's Brill Cream.
Brill cream.
Yeah, a little dab will do you.
Yeah. And this is all good stuff. It just
Nothing
helps.
like a little lube.
It helps everything, and even if you get a little excess and it ends up in other parts of the engine, there's no harm, no foul. Now, we went one step farther. The inside bolts on the 4-bolt are studs.
Oh.
So it's studded.
So we're laying the crank with studs.
Not only are you lubing it up, you're putting some studs in there too.
Yeah.
That's right.
As you lay the crank.
That's right.
That's going in my car.
Oh, we have a good show tonight, don't we?
Yeah.
Is it getting hot in here?
Yeah.
Bow,
Does it
chicka,
say-
bow, wow.
It didn't say KY on that tube, did it?
Oh, jeez.
Now it's I want you to look
Sorry, Paul.
at the quality of the work. Look how clean everything is.
Polish the mains.
Everything is perfect. And, one of the things that Paul always emphasizes whenever he does an assembly, he says, people talk about checking your work twice. That's not good enough for me. I like to check everything 3 times. I want to make sure everything is perfect. Sometimes it's, just human error. It's possible to overlook something. Maybe you won't torque something correctly. So go back again and then go back again, just to make sure that it's perfect and get it just right.
Get her done.
You want to get rid of the human error. And he mentions that you always have to be very careful when you put that rear cap on. You want to be very careful to not damage the rear seal.
Oh, yeah, because, boy, if you do.
Oh, man. You got to pull the motor out.
Oh, that's just a hateful
So that's where you always get the leak, right?
Yeah, but at least this one's got the 2-piece seal.
Yeah, rather than like a rope
seal. Oh,
Okay.
I remember those.
Oh, well, you guys are going way back. What are you,
back,
Model
yeah.
T racers or something?
That's from the olden days. Come on.
Back in the olden days.
I had to pack my wooden wheels. And now later on in the show, not tonight, but another show, we're going to show the hamburger oil pan. We clearance the oil pump
Oh, he's
to
torquing
the
stuff
pan.
down now,
Yeah, he's
huh?
got to torque the
Yeah.
studs, torque the bolts, make sure it's right. And I don't know if we're going to see it in this video, but it's amazing how easy the crankshaft spins. Even when it's torqued down, he's got the proper amount of clearance. Everything's right. He's going to get that set up, and then later in another show, we're going to install the pistons. We're going to torque the rod caps for the connecting rods.
There's like no way we could have done this at home.
No, well, we
No
could do
way.
it. We just couldn't do it good.
Yeah.
I built motors.
Right.
Not
like this.
Not like this. In fact, but the 383 that you had in your car for the
Sure.
last few years, I built that motor.
Oh, okay. Here's a pat on your back, Lucky.
However, I don't build my own motors because I think I can build a pretty good 11-second motor. But once you get in the 10s and the 9s and the 8s, you one mistake, it's going to really be expensive.
Well, see, now, I built an 11-second motor once. That's all it lasted.
Yeah, it lasted for
11 seconds. Yeah.
Wow, job done.
Yeah.
There you go. Dang, man.
Okay, so where are we at?
Where are we at on this one?
There we go.
Okay, well, right now what we're going to do is we're going to show a short clip of the piston. This is a Race Tech piston. The lighting's off a little bit. Bruce, let's listen to Paul. We were just talking about the design and how these pistons are designed for strength.
Yeah, this is a box skirt design piston, and what that means is this pin boss area has got a box rib in it, which helps the piston from flexing. When they do that, you don't need as thick of a deck thickness and the material in the piston, so the pistons can generally be lighter. But this piston was built to go the distance, and it's not a real lightweight piston, but it'll hold up to just about anything we want to put it through.
Race Tech pistons out of Huntington Beach, California.
Man.
You know, Race Tech is a great company, made in USA, made right here in Orange County, California, Huntington Beach, California.
America,
baby.
America.
Yeah.
And
now I was amazed, Lucky, because when you told me you were going to go get those pistons, I'm like, don't they just get them off the shelf? And you're like, no, they take a piece of aluminum and they make your pistons for you.
They CNC cut that piston. And,
amazing.
Dang,
you know,
we live in the future.
I know,
man.
we do.
The quality's
I'm
incredible.
spoiled.
And it's funny because the whole process, they take all these shavings and then they recycle them.
Good.
And so, you know, you think, wow, you're cutting away all that aluminum. Don't worry about it. The aluminum's fine. Hey, but speaking of what's fine, how about finding out what's going on with what's going on?
Now, let's go ahead and thank our sponsor, Curry Racing Rear Ends, as well as Aeromotive and M&H Tires. Hey, look at that.
He's got some M&H's
What
on the back.
heck is
Look at that.
That's a kid's cool ride, man.
He's got a nice little gasser rake there.
He's going in style there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's cruising the Moon Eyes event that we were at back in
December.
Was it December?
Yeah.
It was a great event, and my favorite part is the kid in the back watching an Envy.
Well, we want to let everybody know that February 14th and the 21st, they're going to have Test and Tune at Fontana. That's the, what track, Bob? The
Auto Club.
Auto Club. Yeah.
Hey, the world famous March meet at Bakersfield will be March 5th through the 8th. You can buy not only your spectator tickets right now online, but you can also buy your racer entry at thefote.com. Go to thefote.com for all your ticket needs and become a member and become part of the Speed Scene Live crew, and you can talk to us during the live show like everybody's doing tonight. Bob, you're going out to a car show.
I am going out to the Dr. George show down at the Indian Wells Tennis Center this coming weekend. It's a benefit show benefiting cancer treatment, and everyone's invited. There's no pre-entry. Come on down. Bring your car. 1,000 cars last year on the grass at the Indian Wells Tennis Center.
All right. Well,
did you say there's no free entry?
No, it's all free. Yeah,
no, it's all free.
The spectators are free.
Okay.
You got to pay to enter your car. There's 1,000 cars that were there last year. It is a great event. The proceeds going to benefit cancer treatment in the Valley. The Palm Springs Cruising Association puts this event on every year. I'm going to be down there with the Auto Club Fontana Speedway guys as well, and we're going to be setting up a booth there, so come by and say hello.
great. NMCA West came out with their 2015 schedule starting March 27th through the 29th at the Auto Club Raceway, Fontana. Don't miss it.
Also, the same weekend, Mopar's at the Strip. They will be out at Las Vegas, Nevada. Big Swag will be live in person at that event. Now, if you bought one of those badass Hellcats, you get to race for free. So if you got that kind of money to throw around, you got extra money to pay for race entry. But hey, what they really want us to do is let everyone know that they are looking for non-Mopars to race, because what they'd like to do is have Mopars against Chevy, Mopars against
Fords.
Mustang.
Well,
so
well, you know what Mopar stands for.
What?
Move over, Plymouths are racing.
Oh, I actually never heard that one.
Touche.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
April 17th through the 19th, that's going to be the ANRA season opener at the Formosa Auto Club Raceway.
Yes, love ANRA. And April 18th is also the next Match Race Madness race down at Verona. Hey, Bob, have you ever been to that Eagle Field race?
You know, I have been trying to get to Eagle Field because it is such an amazing old-school style race. And it's a great place to be. May 15th to the 17th. Eagle Field has a 3-day event. It keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. Go back in time with flag start drag racing, and many legends of the past will be out there.
We're going to try to get some of the folks from Eagle Field to come into the studio or call in or do something and talk about it, because they have so many old-school names that are coming out to do exhibition racing. They have all kinds of cool cars, events, and I believe this 3-day weekend is their first 3-day weekend ever.
Yes, it is. And, you know, a lot of the people we've had on the show, like Stormy Bird, race up there.
Yeah, and Bob, so how about Irwindale Thursday nights? That's
Thursday
still going
night.
on every
we are
Thursday
going
night,
every
right?
Thursday night under the lights at Irwindale Drag Strip. Come on out. $20 to race your car, $10 as a spectator.
Yep, I know around the country there's still snow, there's still rain everywhere, but here in Southern California, we're racing.
We don't
Come
shovel
on to the
sunshine.
West Coast. Yeah.
We don't shovel sunshine.
Bring your race car. Come race with us. Have fun here at the West Coast.
That's right. Bob, you will also be driving that skid plate car this Sunday at Irwindale on the Oval. Come on out. Be there around 12. Bob will be making his last drive ever. I mean, his first drive ever at right around 1 o'clock.
And you're going to put some Speed Scene Live stickers on that car, right, Bob?
I'm definitely going to do
So
that.
hopefully you're going to get a 10th over everybody else. You're going to need it by the looks of this, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have the Speed Scene Live, the gas stickers. We're going to get that thing going, and I hope to finish.
Yes, I hope you finish too. I hope you're not one of the cars the policeman's pushing out of the infield.
Now, we'll see everybody next week. Next week, we will have Dale Creasy talking about his long-running career behind a Nitro car, and we're going to have Nitro Harley winner from last weekend. We're going to have a little bit of Nitro in the house. Plus, we're going to give you some more updates on the Paul Williams Specialty Project 406.
Nice. All right, for now, you know what comes next, the encore presentation of the show you are now watching. So thanks for joining us for Speed Scene Live tonight. Keep it here, of course, for more of the great video stuff that's featured on the show, and we'll see you, 6 days and 23 hours from now, right here.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and thefoe.com.